The story of global power is a tale of ambition, resilience, and transformation. A saga where two giants stand on opposite ends of the world, America and China. How did a once young nation on the edge of the Atlantic become the greatest superpower the world has ever known? And how is China rising today to challenge that dominance, rewriting the rules of global influence? Let's travel back to the late 19th century. The United States was no longer just a fledgling democracy emerging from civil war and territorial expansion. The Spanish-American War of 1898 marked a decisive turning point. This short, sharp conflict catapulted America onto the global stage as an imperial power, with new territories in the Caribbean and the Pacific, proof that the United States was ready to extend its influence far beyond its borders. But America's journey to superpower status was not just about expanding territory. The dawn of the 20th century brought rapid industrialization. Cities grew, steel and oil fueled progress, and new inventions changed life, from electric lights to automobiles. This economic might formed the backbone for America's role in the two world wars that would define the 20th century. World War I was a wake-up call that the U.S. could play a major role in global affairs, but it was World War II that transformed the nation into the preeminent global power. While the rest of the world was devastated by conflict, American industries worked overtime, producing the planes, tanks, and ships that would tip the scales toward victory. After 1945, the world looked very different. Europe lay in ruins. Asia was reshaping itself after the fall of empires and the horrors of war. The United States, boasting the highest GDP and an unmatched military, took the reins of leadership, launching initiatives like the Marshall Plan to rebuild Europe and creating the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a bulwark against the spread of Soviet communism. Here was a superpower not just of military might, but of ideas, a beacon of democracy and capitalism. It shaped international institutions like the United Nations and the World Bank. American culture, from jazz to Hollywood films, spread worldwide. Yet power is never static. The Cold War was a tense chess match of influence, where America and its allies faced off against the Soviet Union. China, meanwhile, was locked in its own internal struggles. Following a brutal civil war and decades of upheaval, China emerged in 1949 as the People's Republic under communist rule. For decades, China was isolated, marked by internal purges and struggles for survival. It was largely cut off from the global economy and influence. But Deng Xiaoping's rise to power in 1978 sparked a revolution. Economic reforms opened the country to the world. Special economic zones sprouted, foreign investment flowed in, and China became the factory of the world. Hundreds of millions were lifted out of poverty. Skyscrapers rose in Shanghai and Shenzhen. China's economy grew at staggering rates, turning it into the second largest economy globally, a force no one could ignore. But economic growth alone does not define global power. China began to modernize its military, expanding naval capabilities and investing heavily in technology. Its Belt and Road Initiative aims to connect Asia, Africa, and Europe through trade and infrastructure, extending its geopolitical footprint far beyond its borders. Now, the question, is America's era as the world's superpower ending, or does its historic leadership still anchor the global order? America faces challenges, shifting economic power, political divisions, and rising rivals. Yet its military, technological innovation, and deep alliances keep it relevant on the world stage. China, ambitious and fast-growing, navigates internal challenges and external pushback. Its journey is a story of determination, balancing control at home with assertiveness abroad. This story isn't just about nations, it's about the forces that shape our world. Ideals, industry, strategy, and resilience. In this series, we'll explore the incredible turning points that shaped America's rise, the battles fought, the industries built, and the ideas forged. We'll dive into China's transformation, from revolution to reform, from isolation to influence. Join us as we examine how two nations from very different paths have shaped the destiny of the 21st century.